We'll start here. What I do, by the way, I just want to start by doing this because I'm not going to explain the jumps unless you're having trouble with that, but I think this is where this whole beginning area is really what needs to be talked about here. So what I tend to do is I come here and I align myself with the cross. Like I more or less do it so that I'm like in the center of that. I'm in the center of like this. Like I'm here. Like I'm centered here and I'm like centered with the cross. I mean the candle. So like I'm not actually, you don't really see the candle. I mean, it's not specific, right? It's just I don't want to be, typically I don't want to be like here, or I don't want to be here, and I don't want to be too far forward, things like that. So like I find this, for me, I find this is a good cue for me when I start my jumps, so that I know exactly, like I'm gonna be in the right position every time when I do it. Because I've had it happen where I'm like a little to the left, or like I'm like more like here, and like there's a little bit of the candle showing. That usually works fine, but like it's not specific, like I said, it's just visual for me. So I get here and you're gonna see, which you probably already know all this, it's just I'm kind of just covering the basics, but this is what you need to look for, is this section right here. And this is probably we're probably saying the same exact thing what we were talking about earlier with where to start your jump, but like, so if you start it like, start your jump, stay here. You start it like here, for instance, like with this like gap showing, you're gonna get crushed, like guaranteed. Like this is like just too early to start. Or even like, this might even be slightly too early. What I wait for is more like this. This is almost pretty much perfect. Like what I wait for is like, this needs to be very close together. Like, and like you're guaranteed, and you know, you can do it a little later if you want, just because I tend to have like a little later reaction sometimes. So like I find that this is a good cue, or I like wait like here. Yeah, I mean, I'm still pausing it on the exact frame that I would start jumping. So you can do it later even. Like you can do it here. I just wouldn't recommend it. It's not like an ideal spot in which you want to like start jumping. So like if I'm jumping here every single time, you're not gonna get crushed. So let me see if I can kind of demonstrate. If I jump really early, I'm dead, guaranteed. So as I jump super early there, and I'm dead. But if you wait later, oops, if you wait later, you're good. And you really don't have to, I mean, it's not super specific. Like I said, you could wait like really long and do it and still get it. It's just being early is the problem. Like you don't want to anticipate it and then start doing it now. And you're like, oh shit, I gotta do it. Oh, but you're dead. So the earlier you start your jumps, according to like how this lines up, guaranteed you're not gonna make it in the wall. So probably a bad start too, so. And then, once I'm in, I don't really hold anything. I do start, like, I hold left, like, when I'm visibly going to the left, like, I hold left, and then, let me see if I can get a state here. Oops. Actually, I don't, let me step back. I don't know if, like, you're having any problems, like, prior to this, but I could say that, like, typically what you want to do is you start your jumps and then you do a little wiggle and then you jump forward here. And that takes a little bit of practice to get, because I found like at first I found the wiggle to be like a little annoying, but it's not too bad once you get used to it. It's just a quick wiggle. It's nothing like overly specific. And I tend to hold the R button. If I think that's your sub weapon button too. I tend to hold it like the whole entire time until like I'm in the wall. So do this, wiggle, jump. And then I don't hold anything once I'm in the wall. And then when I start going left like this, then I hold left. And then what I want to look for once I'm in here, which I don't know if you're having problems with this section, but I'm just going to quickly go over it, is that I'm looking for this to be connected with this. So like, let me see if I can get a better state once I'm in the wall here. Perfect. This is what I'm looking for. To start, this is why I'm bad at this. Let me reinstate what I said. I don't hold anything when I get into the wall, but when I reach here is when I start holding left. Like this is what I look for, this cue right here. That's when I know it's good to hold left. So ignore what I said before when I'm going left to hold left, but I want to wait to hold, just like hold the button like right here. And then what you generally want to do when you hit this is you want to do right. Remember this area, I don't know if you know, but this area here is your golden area. Once you're past it, like here, that's no good. So like from here to here is perfect for your wiggle. There are definitely other ways people do this. I've seen, and I have done it myself, is that you can wiggle much faster. Like anywhere between here, you can wiggle, like actually, I think you can wiggle between here and here, and it works completely fine, but it's super tight. I don't prefer it, and there's really typically no reason to do it other than if you really, really want to try to get, and I can explain this later, but like if you're doing like a more safer method, which I go between, but it's good to do it safer. It's like, unless you really want to save the max time, which is like, I think it's like a couple seconds faster if you do it the faster way. But anyway, I don't recommend doing it unless you're super comfortable with it. I do recommend doing your wiggle from here to here, if that works. You could do it from here. I just really don't recommend it because, I mean, yeah, it's, once you're past this line right here, it's GG. You're dead. You're like 100% dead. And I can usually see it during my runs, like if I die. So like that. And then from here, then this actually works too, and there's, like I said, there's two ways to do this section from here. What I guess I want to preface is that we'll do it the safer way, so I'm not even going to discuss like the nitty-gritty of this until I'll explain it a little later if you want to know how to do it, but I will just only explain this part here. What I look for here is to start holding right again. As soon as I see like a gap here, like this is perfect, maybe a little less than this even, like from the edge of the screen to here, when I see an opening, like I know this block has passed, then I start hitting right. And then I let go. Like the problem with this is that you have to kind of get a feel, and you'll have to just play around with it and whatnot. But it's like it's not a tap. It's a hold, right? But then don't hold too much. um, so because you wanna land right here between in the second pillar. I mean, like you want to land here. So I find that this works for me. Um, I find that when I look for, oh, that was way too early. It's because I'm like pausing, but oh, might be dead. Yeah, that's dead. And that works too. You see, like that was a much shorter wiggle, and it worked fine. Um, it's just sometimes you're gonna do it like if you do it too quickly like this, you're gonna well, you could die like that too. um, but you can wind up like this. And in which case, then you should really know how to do the backup here, which is just the fists in the wall strat that Shri does. And that's pretty much how I learned to do this backup. It's really not hard. The problem is with that, you have to react pretty quickly. So it's like trying to get where I land like this. Okay. It's pretty quick. Like you're gonna wind up in this position. There's no way to like. I mean, I don't know if there's other ways people do this, but the way I do it is just I stay like this because that's the way you're gonna wind up landing naturally if you get the wiggle and it spits you out here. So like, it's definitely before this. I'm gonna die if I jump here. So just. Oh shit, I still got it. It's not too specific, you know? I guess I can show you what I do here. I guess not that, but you know. It's like as soon as like Simon's fist touches this wall here, like that's a little too late. Seems late. Like that. But that's also because my reaction time maybe like isn't super on point, so you just kind of have to get a feel for what makes sense for you. Let me kind of you can it's like but this isn't that difficult, right? I mean, you're already know how to do all this. But like obviously the cues are just different. And sometimes I definitely do it way too late, like where the fist is like lined up here and like yeah, I'm dead. So it's just a different timing to get used to. But it's worth it to learn. I feel like there's a lot of people who learn Richter Zip, but they don't know how to back up out of it. So I think if you're gonna spend the time to learn Richter Zip, then you should learn the backup because you can still have a run. Like if you're gonna implement this Richter Zip entirely, you're still gonna have a run if like if you miss it. It's like it's not even that bad. it's like completely worth learning. So I would spend the time like just getting familiar with the cue here. But hopefully this helps a little bit for that. Don't ignore my whips. I don't know. I fat thumb everything, you know. Ignore my whips. That's not what you're supposed to do. But I fat thumb everything. This is perfect. I'm gonna have to go back to show you more things. So line up here, jump late, in the wall, left, right, left, dead. Left, right, left. Okay, then I guess I can point out some other things about it. the wiggle in the wall, and this is kind of going back to what I was saying what I was saying before was that some people, I guess, want to do a shorter wiggle because they want to ensure that they're in the wall at the right height. So, let me show you. This is perfect. So, if you want to do like the more risky strat here, you want to play around with it, I recommend playing around with it. If you're going to learn Richter Zip, I say learn it all. So, maybe if you're having like a shitty run and you're like, yeah, well, I want to make up some time and I'm just going to go balls deep. So, the wiggle in the wall matters because the tighter your wiggle is, the less height you're getting when you're like zipping through the wall here. So you can see like this is a good cue. Not that I'm looking for this actively when I'm running, but this is just to understand that like Simon is now lower in the wall here. Like when he's zipping by. And what this does, it allows you to get the fast zip. And so yeah, this is gonna matter. Like your wiggle is gonna matter, but it's. I mean, really, you'd have to have a very slow wiggle in order to get like a lower height. So this is just to understand like what this does. The wiggle matters, and then this allows you to have like a better height. And I'll show you some variants later. But this is just so you get the big dick strat. So for here, this is the same thing, right? So like I wait for like the gap in the wall here. I wait for the gap. This is way too much, but see, I jumped early. Okay. Left, right, left. Right, left. Oh, I actually think I was fine. Left, right, left. Goddamn. Okay. And now we'll see, let's see what my variance is here. Oh, we're still at a good height here. From here to here. There's like a big gap. The farther the symbol is, it's just for you to understand, but like the symbol, if it's higher in this like section here, then you know you're way too high and you're not gonna get like the big dick strat. But how I typically do it during runs is if I just go for the same cue every single time, and if I know I'm gonna go for the maximum time save, I'm gonna commit to it. But if not, then you cut it short, right? Like you wait for the little gap here, and then you get popped out here. And how you know you got it is that it rises up, like the screen rises up. And JC covers this too in his tutorial, but. See how I ride the screen rises up and then it falls? That's how you know you got it. And then you just keep walking. And of course you have to pray because you have to have a good crusher cycle. Your crusher cycle has to be, yeah, it just has to be perfect. You just have to get lucky. And sometimes what can happen also is if you start holding at the wrong time, maybe like slightly later, like this, I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna die, guaranteed. No, I didn't die. It can happen if I can try to replicate it. Let's see. Maybe if I do it like later. Oh shit! I think this is fine though. I can't replicate it. It's tough. Like I don't exactly 100% know why it happens, and I do believe it's probably because I start holding at the wrong time. Like maybe just slightly earlier. But like you can still get this cycle and die. Like you can just get crushed here straight up. It might have to do with the height too. It's very possible. It might have to do with the height at which Simon's at, but I'm not 100% on it. There might be some way to clarify that with someone else, why that happens. But if like I, if I get like a very short, let's see if I can do this, watch. Like this. Oh, shit. I want to see if I can try to replicate it quickly. That might not work. Oh, shit. It's hard to replicate. It seems like it's really not easy to to make happen. I don't know. It's usually like when the screen doesn't really rise that far in the screen, I kind of get a feel that I'm gonna die, and I usually back out of it last minute. But I'd say most of the time I get it. Um, but like I said, I'm sure someone has like a better answer for that one, but it's just something to be aware of that it can happen. So this, the way I did this right now is the maximum time save you're gonna get from Zip. If you do it the safer way, I'm still doing the same visual cue, but I'm kind of stopping here. And this is like a hold forward a little bit and then just let go. But yeah, if you, I mean, obviously, I recommend doing it the slightly safer way, which is to guarantee that you're gonna land. Oh, you're gonna land here, because then you're never gonna really die. You know, I mean, it's definitely the better way to go about it. But like I said, I commit more to the unless I have a really good run. I usually commit to like the maximum time save strat, or I call it the big dick strat. But that's just because like I'm like usually not happy with the times I'm getting in the first like few levels, and I just want to take the risk because I'm like, well, if I reset, I reset. Like, pretty much accepted the fate doing that, but for right now, it's probably better to get familiar more with like this way. But you could find another visual cue that works for you. I mean, this is just what works for me. Um, some I know JC had some. He had some cues that he uses, and it might work better for you. It's just for me, I can visually see the edge of the screen, uh, like here. I mean, this is maybe too early, but like I hit I hit forward like right after this. As soon as I see a gap here, like for me, this makes sense, but for you, maybe it's maybe it's not that straightforward. So I mean, I would just say check out JC's cues. Maybe Alexis has like a better cue that he uses too. Don't go strictly by what I'm saying. And trying to think if there's anything else. I feel like I was a little all over the place with this tutorial. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like when you're too high. Like if you do like a if you do a slower wiggle, you can do that. Let's see if I can do it. Dead. Okay, that might be good. This might be a slow wiggle. It's borderline. Let's see if I can get it. So like you can see the way the block here. I still think it's low enough actually, this block, how it lines up with the 3 symbol here. I still think I'm good though. But you'll know if you get the rise in the oops. No, I didn't get it. So you can see like I'm hitting right. Hitting right a little too late. See, I'm doing it, but I'm not getting the rise in the screen, which means I would never get, like, no matter how much I did it right, I was never gonna wind up like around here. I'm always gonna wind up here. So you could do it slower and just, always ensure that you're gonna get it here. Um, I'm a little more comfy with the faster wiggle, but like, or I'm just used to it, I guess I'll say that. But you can tell if you get the rise in the screen, like it goes, then you're gonna get popped out sooner. And that means Simon was like low enough on the screen. And if not, it's just a smooth sailing, and then you're gonna wind up here regardless. But yeah, the same principle applies, hold forward a little bit and then let go. Same thing. I think that's it. So I think I've covered most things to go over here. Remember, so like this, doing it early is like what I consider this. This is too early. That's way too early. Well, they were both too early. None was earlier than the other, but they're all pretty early. This, that's too early. I would consider that too early also. Let's say like right here is perfect. Good lord. Yep. And you could wait a little later too if you want. I know TLB does it pretty late. I've seen him like learn this strat. And but that might, I don't know, does it cause the height to be funky? Let's find out. No, it's fine. Actually, that's borderline. I didn't even get it right. But TLB does it like a little later too. So the later you wait for this, the better. Obviously, you don't want to wait like too late. I don't even know if this would work if you did it like this. Maybe it does. I want to try now. Yeah, it works. Yeah, so I mean, like, unless you're like, no, so the height was bad here. I'm guaranteed not getting it. Yeah, the height was pretty bad there. But for I mean, I'm dwelling on the big dick strat, but I'm just trying, I guess I'm just trying to show the difference in his height. Good lord. I can't do it on tutorial mode, Left, right, left. Then I'm gonna do this. And then the bat doesn't spawn, and then we're dead. So, good way to end the tutorial. I hope this helps a little bit. I really want to do a step-by-step tutorial of this with just text and not me talking, so that it's like, one by one, and then showing like fail scenarios and good scenarios and things like that. But obviously, like, takes a bit of time. I remember doing the footage some time back for all this, but I need to actually spend the time to make a tutorial, because there's no tutorial that really covers everything. And I think it's pretty important to know this stuff about the wiggle and whatever. Anyway, you can hit me up with more questions. If something wasn't explained well enough, I will do another video for you so that you understand and I'm more clear, because I was kind of scatterbrained and all over the place as usual. So I wish you well in the Richter Zip endeavors. It's a cool strat. And I definitely think it's worth learning, but don't get too bogged down with like implementing it right away. So, okay, I'm out.